Welcome to the Christian Spiritualist channel. If you've never attended a spiritualist church service, you may wonder what to expect when you do. After what I'd been taught by Protestant Christianity about spiritualism, I'll admit I had second thoughts, maybe even third and fourth thoughts about going the first time. But I was invited to go by a very dear member of my extended family, so I went. The people at her church were very friendly, and I certainly felt welcome there. The church looked similar to some of the Protestant Christian churches I had attended, and the service was very much like what I was used to, but with something more. It included a period of time near the end of the service for a demonstration of mediumship, or spirit greetings, as some call it. Many spiritualist churches have a service that combines a healing service with their regular service. That particular church had held their healing service just before the service I attended. Not every church follows the same order of service, but a typical worship service at a spiritualist church begins with a welcome and invocation, followed by a congregational song and the reading of the Declaration of Principles. Church services that include a healing service often will then have a time for meditation and a brief healing service which includes a prayer for healing, hands-on healing for those who want it, and a reading of names from the church's healing list. The service may then continue with a brief reading of something from the Spiritualist Manual or an inspirational poem, followed by another song and then the sermon. If you're like me and are accustomed to long-winded prayers exceeding 20 minutes in length and sermons that last up to an hour or more, you'll probably be happy to know prayers at a spiritualist service are usually brief, and most of the many sermons I've heard have been less than 30 minutes long. After the sermon, an offering is collected while announcements are given. Then comes the demonstration of mediumship. Depending on the number of people in attendance, some may not receive a message from Spirit, but several will. This is a very important part of a spiritualist church service because it is presented as proof of the continuity of life and the reality of communication between our physical world and the spiritual realm, two of spiritualism's core beliefs. The service then ends with a closing prayer or benediction and a congregational song. During the first spiritualist church service I attended, I had hoped I wouldn't get a message from Spirit, and I didn't. The thought of hearing from a friend or family member who had passed made me feel uneasy, and I wondered too what might be said. But from listening to the messages other people received, I realized there was no need for concern. For each of them, it was an enjoyable experience, and nothing private or embarrassing was said. A spiritualist medium will first ask for your permission before giving you a message. If for any reason you prefer not to receive one, it's perfectly all right to say no. If you do want the message, it's usually best to keep quiet as the medium relays it to you, unless you are asked if you can understand what is being said. Too much interruption on your part may make the medium lose connection with the communicating spirit. At a healing service, there is one or more spiritualist healers, each with a chair in front of them. Meditative music is usually played while those who want healing go sit in a healer's chair. You don't have to be ill or hurting to seek spiritual healing. It's also offered for overall wellness, or you can sit in proxy for someone else you know who's in need of healing. The healer will ask for your permission before laying hands on you. Hands are usually placed only on the shoulders or above. If you prefer no contact, that's all right. Just say no. There are people who prefer it that way, and the healer will not be offended. No other conversation is needed during the healing session. Other than softly playing music, the healing service is usually a quiet time of silent prayer and meditation while the healers do their work. Remain seated in the chair until the healer gives you an indication they are finished. Oftentimes, this is a simple bless you, spoken quietly to you by the healer. I encourage you to take advantage of the healing services, at least now and then, even when you feel well. Once I sat for healing even though I felt fine, and later realized I had actually received healing of a nuisance upper back pain that I usually got on long drives. After leaving the church, I had a 10-hour drive to get home and didn't experience that usual pain along the way. Some of the churches I've attended have a fellowship time following the service, which may include refreshments or a potluck meal. That's a great time to get to know some of the people there and ask questions you may have. I haven't always been able to stay after a service, but when I have, I've enjoyed a lot of good food and wonderful conversations. I've met some of the best people I've ever come across and have made several lasting friendships. Some spiritualist churches will hold a spirit fair occasionally that focuses on messages from spirit and spiritual healing. And these events allow the general public an opportunity to get acquainted with spiritualism and the church in a fun and casual setting outside of the regular church services. When looking for a spiritualist church to attend, please be aware there are some churches with the words Christian spiritualist in their name that do not believe in spiritualism. There are also spiritualist churches that don't have the word spiritualist in their name. If you're unsure about the beliefs of a church you're considering, you may find their beliefs through an internet search. The church's website will usually include a statement of beliefs and/or their declaration of principles. If you've never attended a spiritualist church, I hope you'll give one a visit. I wish I had much earlier in my life. I had no idea what I was missing. Spiritualists are very welcoming, non-judgmental, and accepting of those of all beliefs or no belief. You'll find some very awesome people in spiritualism. And if you find a good evidential medium and receive a message from a loved one in spirit, you may just have a life-changing experience like I did. Thank you for watching. If you found this video interesting, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and click on that little bell for notification of new videos. May God bless you and guide you, and may you enjoy your spiritual journey. Bye for now.